Okay, so we are going to start with a new topic today that is regarding the automated and emerging technologies. In the last classes, what we have completed with the other phases of the topic. Like for example, we have, or you may say the other topics we have completed. That include with the hardware and the softwares, and it includes the data representation, data transmission. We completed about these things. Okay, now we need to start with a new topic that is automated and emerging technologies. This is a sort of a theory topic, and there will be more likely towards reading stuff, or the learning stuff will be more. Okay, now basically there are three phases in this topic. Now what is the first phase? The first phase is about the automated systems, that how an automated system is working on, the thing that we say that it's automatic. So how that automatic terminology is working, what will be the advantages and what are the disadvantages of that particular thing. Then we do have the robotics, and finally we do have the artificial intelligence, the most important thing. Just hold on. Artificial intelligence is the most important thing, okay, because the future is regarding the artificial intelligence. So we will be learning about these three things in this topic, or you may say three subtopics in this topic. Now, when it comes to the automated system, so what do you mean with the automated system? Automated system is something that are basically working on an scenario that is having the input device in it. Then they do have the microprocessors, because microprocessor is having the stored data in them, and stored data is working according to the input data. And finally, according to that particular processing and all the comparison and all other stuff, they are getting an output. It's a similar sort of a thing that we have done with the sensors में भी हम लोगों ने कुछ इसी तरीके से किया था, that we were discussing about the input as well as the output, and there was a sensor in it that was basically doing the comparison. Sorry, that was basically sensing the data, and finally we do have the microprocessor that was basically utilized for the comparison, whether that comparison is true or false. And if the comparison is true, so what do you need to do? And if the comparison is false, then what do you need to do? So that all the things were basically working on an automated technology, because it was an automatic system. You just one time stored that particular values, and the other time those particular values that were input were basically compared with those stored values, and the appliances were working accordingly. Okay. Now, when it comes over here, so now there are few of the advantages and disadvantages. Am I clear with the automated system? Ashina and Arva beta?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So now we're moving towards the advantages and disadvantages. That what could be the advantages and what could be the disadvantages regarding that automated systems. Now, they have given us few of the scenarios. Like one scenario they have given to us regarding the industrial, then one scenario they have given to us regarding the transport, then agriculture, weather, gaming, lightning, and science. So there are different scenarios that we are gonna work on. So when it comes to the industrial appliances, now what are the industrial appliances over here? Now these are basically the systems over which we are working on. Like for example, the first is regarding the distributed control system, DCS. Now, what are those distributed control systems? Now, there is a supervisor over there, and there is a distributed control system. Now, this control system is basically the microprocessor that is taking up the, or you may say, that is sensing the values. Okay, first of all, then in that particular microprocessor, those values are being compared, and after the comparison, the changes are, or you may say, the output is done accordingly. So now over here, there's a supervisor over here from which you're going to input the values. Then there is a data distributed control system. Now there are multiple sensors placed over here. Now what are the sensors that are placed over here? These are the temperature sensors, the pressure sensors. These are the flow level sensors, gas escape sensors, and the radiation level sensor. Now there are a few of the multiple sensors placed over here. Okay. Now once these are taking the input values, now for the output or to perform any kind of the particular task, they do need an actuators over there, because we have already studied about the actuators, that what are the actuators. Now these are the devices that are helping to perform any kind of the output, or that are basically doing to that are planning to go for a particular output. Now is one of the actuator is going for the automatic shutdown, the other one is operating with the water valves or the pumps, and the third one is regarding the gas pumps and the valves. Now there are few of the advantages and few of the disadvantages. Now what could be the question regarding this? Because this is the new topic. So obviously, if we are having a new topic, so we do not have any kind of the past papers regarding this, so we cannot go ahead with the past papers for this. So now the advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? Now this could be asked. They could give you the scenario. They could give you the particular scenario in a question format, and they might ask you about the advantage and disadvantage of those particular things. Okay, like for example, the advantage number one, they are saying that much faster than a human operator to take any necessary action. Like if you need to take any kind of the action or you want to perform any kind of the action. So regarding, or you may say in comparison to the human, the system can or the machine can do it at quite easily and quite faster. They are safe as well. Okay. The process is more likely to run under optimum conditions since all small changes needed can be identified very quickly and action taken. Okay, now it could be done in a good environment. The reason behind it because any kind of the fault can be determined quite easily. Any kind of changes or any kind of the amendments if you need to make, so you can do that quite easily. In the long run, it is less expensive. One time you just need to pay the installation amount or you just need to pay the setup amount, and just after that you can go ahead. Simple. Okay. Now, what would be the disadvantages? Now, they have mentioned few of the disadvantages. They are saying expensive for the first time. Okay, this could be the expensive one. Always possible for setup conditions to occur that we never considered during testing, which could have safely implications. Okay, now that could be done. Any computerized system is subject to cyber attacks. Obviously, if there's an automated system, so we do have the chance of cyber attacks as well. And automated systems also need enhanced maintenance, which can be expensive. So this is what we are going to do when it comes to the nuclear power station or a particular embedded system. Okay. Now, similarly, over here, there is a manufacturer of paracetamol. They have given us another example for the industrial purpose, and that's regarding the manufacture of paracetamol, a type of a Disprin, or you may say a type of a Panadol, or you may say type of any kind of the medicine. So now in this, what they are saying, there is a process one, there is a process two, there is the interface, there is an input output as well. There is CPU, that's the brain of the system that is performing all the operations. There is a database and there is a monitoring station as well. Now regarding this scenario, there could be the advantage and there could be the disadvantage. So I would not recommend you to read each and every scenario, but this one, please go through the scenario first of all. And if you're finding any kind of the difficulty or you're unable to understand this one, so please let me know. First of all, go through the scenario, please. From here, this automated system also depends on a sensor till computer system if necessary. As it is somewhat a reading material, just go through this, and if you're finding any kind of the difficulty, please let me know. Are you guys going through this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, guys, done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so any kind of the issue still here?
No, sir.
Okay, great enough. Okay, now we are going ahead with the advantages and disadvantages of this one. So now when it comes to the advantages and disadvantages of this one, so reading these one, you will be more likely to come across that these are the same, or you may say somewhat same as we have studied earlier or in the last phase, because when it comes to the automated system, so mainly the things or mainly the advantages and disadvantages are quite similar. So just go through this and these ones again, and then we can move ahead. Okay, guys, are you done till the advantages?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you might be finding like first point is same, so faster. The other point is same as well. They are saying it's safe. Okay. There, the third point is same again, that it's less expensive and it comes to the long run. Okay. Higher productivity is there. Those issues are also quite similar. Okay. Now, studying these, you might be finding it out that these are quite similar to the previous task. So the scenario might be different, but you may say the advantage or disadvantage can be somewhat similar in comparison to the last one. So go through the disadvantage as well so that we can move ahead to the other part. Done, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, guys, as you are done, please let me know so that the time should not waste. Okay. Now we come into the other part. Now, again, we do have a scenario, but that scenario now this time is regarding the transport. Now, what is the scenario over here? They are saying there is a self-parking system or a self-parking car system, and obviously that's an embedded system as well. Once again, now how are you going to park over here? Or what could be the advantage or disadvantage over here? So obviously in a self-parking system, what are there? There are sensors over there. There is an input over there. If the space is available, then you might be monitoring that. Okay, the space is available. Any new car comes. Okay, if yes, so they will provide you the space. If no, they will ask you to just move ahead or something like that. Okay, this is somewhat regarding the automated system. Now, what is the advantages and disadvantages in terms of the network when it comes with the scenario of a self-parking system? So number one, they are saying allow the same number of cars to use fewer parking spaces. Like obviously when there will be a manual system, so might be in a place of 10, there are 8 cars parked. But when it comes to the it comes to the computerized system. So obviously in a place of 10, it will be 10 cars that can be parked easily. avoids traffic disruption in cities. Okay, cars can fit into the smaller spaces. Now, into the smaller spaces means that if they are fitted into the accurate spaces, so obviously they will be taking up smaller spaces. Fewer dents and scratches to cars. Obviously, like as humans, we might just have a bump into another car or somewhat like that, but when it comes to the system, so there are rare chances of doing so. Okay, safer systems and sensors monitor all objects including young children and all. Very consistent results, that means very accurate results. Main disadvantage of this automated systems are over reliance on automated systems by the driver, loss of the skill. Okay, faulty dirty sensors or cameras can send false data. Obviously the sensor is disturbed and it will be sending the false data or the false images. Curving of the wheels is common problem since the sensor may not pick up low curves. Low curves mean that you might have seen the cat eyes on your roads. Those are basically known as the curves. Okay, now expensive option that doesn't really save the driver any money, obviously requires additional maintenance. Now you do not need to learn each and every, but you can just have a scenario based system. Like you can just go in the generalized scenario. Okay, अगर मेरे पास ये scenario आ रहा है, now what could be the advantage, what could be the disadvantage of this one, so you can go in that pattern. But two or three things you should, they are quite common in, like for example when it comes to the embedded system, they are safe in each and every scenario. They are less expensive in long term. Okay, those advantages could be the same, you can learn these. When it comes to the disadvantages, first time it's quite expensive. There might be the attacks of the cyber attacks. Sorry, there might be the risk of the cyber attacks. Again, these 2 points could be fitted in any of the system or any of the scenario. So these are the same as well. Okay, so you can do in that particular manner. Now there is a one more scenario regarding the adaptive cruise control. Like obviously, if the distance is less between the two cars, so it will apply the brakes automatically, and if there is enough distance, so it won't apply the brakes. Okay. Now it comes to the agriculture. Am I clear till over here, or am I rushing out?
Clear, sir.
Ashina, it as you to you as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Sorry.
Yes, it's clear, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, when it comes to the agriculture or the irrigation system, so what do they have? They have a supervisor over here. That means a monitoring system. Okay. Then they have the internet. Okay. Automated weather station and the controller. And there are the wireless transmitters. Now, what are the transmitters getting out? Sorry, receivers, not the transmitters. They are the wire. Multiple transmitters are placed. Now, what are those transmitters? Now, those transmitters can be regarding the water level. It could be regarding the humidity. It could be any such part, like in that particular manner. So there are again few of the advantages and few of the disadvantages regarding this. So just go through this so that we can move ahead. Be quick. And please, guys, as you are done, please let me know. Okay.
Done, sir. Done, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, guys. So did you find any kind of difficulty or is it was simple?
It was simple.
Okay. Now, similarly, we do have the weather stations. Now, for the weather stations, we need to have the temperature sensor. We need to have the humidity sensor. We need to have the wind speed sensors, the level sensor, the rainfall, basically the level sensor, light sensor, and the pressure sensors. Now, there are multiple sensors over there, and obviously they need a power or a power supply or a battery backup whatsoever. Microprocessor should be done. Wireless transmitters are done. Translator central database is required. Again, for the gaming purpose, we do have accelerometer, and similarly it was with the lightning. So reading about these, like for example, just first of all, go with this one lightning system in a house. We have already done this entire scenario when we were reading about the light. Street light system in our sensor based technologies. So just go through the advantage and disadvantage, and then we can just switch on to the other part. Just go through these as well. 2 or 3 points are there.
Done, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, so reading out this one, you might have learned about the factor or the fact that again and again that we are repeating the same thing, or again and again the advantage and disadvantage are quite similar to the other parts as well, isn't it? Parwa, Sheena, and Sakina, beta.
Yes, sir.
So you might be seeing that we are somewhat learning the same thing again and again. Now the scenario basically changes, but somewhat the advantage and disadvantages remain same. So we can skip few of them as well. Coming to the second phase of this topic. Now this second phase is regarding the robotics. Now what do you mean with robotics? Now robotics means simply that you are gonna do some work by force, or you may say by harsh means or something like that. Okay. So the word robot comes from sketch words robota, that means forced labor. Okay. Now we are basically what are we doing with the machine? We are basically forcing them to do that particular work. So that is particularly known as the forced labor or something like that. Okay. Now when it comes to the robotics, so now robotics is being utilized in multiple of the things. Like for example, it is utilized in the factories, it is utilized commercially, it is utilized domestically, it is utilized for the gaming purposes, in the world of the entertainment. All parts of our daily life, we are surrounded with the robots, and in the future we will be surrounded with them more as compared to nowadays. Now there are few of the laws of the robotics. Now these laws are quite important, so please do write these down uh, in the form of a note or something like that. This is the first thing that I'm asking you in this topic to note down. That's regarding the laws of the robotics. Now what are the laws of the robotics? Now number one says a robot may not injure a human through a action or inaction. You guys might have seen the movie Terminator or something like that with the robot, a transformer. These all were the robot movies. Okay. Now, what was the main agenda to just to finish those robots or to just kill those robots or something like that? The main agenda was regarding that they were harming the humans. Okay, so a robot cannot harm a person either with action or inaction. With the proper concept, it cannot injure a human as well, and by mistakenly, it can also not injure a human as well. Okay, that's a law number one. Then it comes with the law number two. A robot must obey orders given by humans unless it comes into conflict with the law number one. Apart from the law number one, it should obey all the orders that are provided by the human to a robot. And the last one itself, a robot must also protect itself. Like it should not be mishandled. We should program it in a particular manner that it should not be mishandled by some other person, or it can come to the point number one that it is going to harm a particular person. Am I clear with these 3 points?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are a few of the things given over here, or you may say few of the examples regarding the factories in homes, drones, that how where are the robots used. So just go through the. Okay, guys, have you just note these down? 3 points.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all of you. Okay, now just go through the examples of these three, and then we can move ahead.
Done, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. Now coming towards the characteristics of the robot. Okay, now there are three characteristics of the robot. Just mention these three characteristics, the name only, like ability to sense their surrounding, number one, have a degree of the movement, number two, and three, programmable. First of all, note these down in your notebooks or in your copies. Then we can move ahead. Just note these 3 points. Give the heading for the characteristics of the robot, and then note these three.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, first of all, what they are saying about the ability to sense their surrounding. That means the sensor should be too strong, that they should be able to sense the surrounding, that what is happening in the surrounding, and they should be able to perform any kind of the operation or any kind of the task regarding the surrounding, that whatever the surrounding is provided or whatever the surrounding scenario is over there, they should be able to perform any particular task regarding that particular surrounding. Okay, like they are saying in this one, this is done by the sensors such as light, pressure, temperature. Any of the sensor could be done. Sensors allow a robot to recognize its immediate environment and gives it ability to determine things like size, shape, or weight of an object, detect if something is hot or cold. They are giving an example over here. Okay, then the other part says about have a degree of the movement. They should be allowed to move. They should be allowed to move in any kind of the direction. Their mechanical structure should be too strong that they can allow in 3 dimensions, X, Y, or Z axis, so that they can protect themselves as well, and they can perform any particular task that is given to them by a human. So to make sure that they are performing any kind of the particular task that is provided to them by a user, number one, and the other part, that they will be or they can protect themselves from any of the harmful stuff. So to make sure they should be quite strong. Okay. Now they can make use of the wheels, cogs, pistons, gears, etc. to carry out the functions such as turning, twisting, moving backward, forward, gripping, or lifting. They are they are mechanical structures made up of many parts, for example, motors, hydraulic pipes, and all. Last one, sorry, second last, they contain many electrical components to allow them to function. And finally, can make use of the end factors, different attachments to allow them to carry out specific tasks such as welding, spraying, cutting, whatever they are utilized for. Okay. Now, moving ahead to the next part, am I clear till over here? Am I clear with the two characteristics?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Coming towards the programmable. Now, they should be programmable. You can reprogram them as well. You can just come up with the better environment of them as well. They should be reprogrammable. They should allow you to reprogram, or they should not be just the predefined ones. Okay, they can only perform these tasks. You can make any kind of amendments. They should allow you to make any kind of amendments or changes in them accordingly. Okay. So they have a brain known as the controller that determines the action to be taken to perform a certain task. Number one, controllers are programmable to allow the robot to do certain tasks. Just hold on. Okay, so am I clear till over here, guys?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to keep the class till here today, and inshallah we will continue in the next class, and most probably by the next class or maximum one another class, we will be winding this up and we will be moving towards paper 2 inshallah ta'ala. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Allah Hafiz.
Mm.
Office.